What's up, Eastgate Nomads, and welcome back to the live stream. As you can see, we are in a new location, which I will disclose in a future video. But we're in a very special event today. We've got Onsra, we've got Fabian himself, the legend, talking about what's been cooking up in the factory, behind the scenes with brand new products. So, without further ado, let's bring Fabian in and talk about this new bike.
Hey,
what's up, man? Yeah, I'm not going to pretend. This is the second time we've launched this because I press the live button. So we're a couple minutes behind. So we're going to do this twice. It's all organic. It's all real. It's fine. So yeah, thanks again for coming back on. It's an absolute pleasure. And I always get goosebumps knowing that I've got friends like yourself and other people in the community I've met over the years who inspired me at the early days. And now I'm very fortunate to have the opportunities to talk to you guys and broadcast your message and some of the cool stuff that you've been making. So do you want to have a little bit of an introduction to yourself, Fabian, your involvement in the community, and how do we end up at this point of your journey?
Yeah, well, I started off with skateboarding, pretty much founded Onsra electric skateboards. I also used to be a YouTuber for a long time. I believe I tested over 200 different electric skateboards. And I actually have an engineer in the team that rides dirt bikes himself. So that's basically his project. So I'm doing the skateboards, our engineer is doing the bikes. That's basically how it's organized at Onsra right now. Because obviously you can't do everything yourself.
Yeah, of course. I think it's interesting now. I think the extension of, e-skate companies fundamentally going into different demographics, because it's not just, obviously a bike is a whole new direction for you guys, but obviously you've been working on the mountain boards with the Velar as well. So it's not just boards, it's mountain boards and extension. Do you feel like the future of personal electric transport is having companies demonstrating a range of different electric vehicles for different purposes?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you have to see, though, the dirt bike isn't going too far away from what we're doing, I believe. I mean, when we started off a year ago, we brainstormed about different bikes we could do. We actually saw Eins bike, Eins BMX, I don't know if you know that, it went bankrupt. And I think that's where the whole idea started off a bit. Hey, should we do a BMX? And it's funny because we thought about that more than a year ago to do a BMX. And well, we always, we try the products and see, hey, does it make sense electric? We talk to BMX riders, they would say, well, that's not really it. We talk to dirt jump bike riders, and it makes a lot more sense there because they use it in the pump track and so on. And a lot of them are actually pumped. So is Danny Schneider. You have seen him in the videos, professional FMX rider, a good friend of mine. And he really loves it. He can't wait for actually a full interview with him is coming soon. With the story behind it. So it's still a trick bike. And I think it really makes sense for our first, electric bike to be something no one has done yet, actually. It's not even specialized, which is probably one of the biggest brands in the electric, in bikes overall. They do have dirt bikes, obviously, but they don't have electric dirt bikes. So we are the first company to even touch any of this. I believe the bigger companies don't do it because it's a niche, but for us it's interesting because we don't really want to do something normal right now. It's just not really for us.
Because I know when I was, very fortunate to come over and visit and ride the Velar when it just got launched, you was talking about this project almost a year and a half ago. So it shows the development of the product was for a very, very long time. So I know this was a completely original idea that you guys came up with, because I know you were saying some other companies are doing bikes as well, which is fine. But I know you was talking about this almost a year and a half ago, even at Eastgate Con, not last year, but the year before, talking about the extension of working into other demographics. So this has been in development for quite a long while, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we always work on new things or brainstorm what else we could do. It's always interesting for me to do something new. I mean, you also have to see I'm 34 now, and it was super interesting for me to start something new. I have to learn something new. Even though our engineer knows everything about the bikes, we still have to learn it. At the end, I see the bill, and But
Mm.
yeah,
yeah. One thing I was impressed with, like your bike, is that the weight of it, because obviously electric transports are very heavy, and I think this image here. Let me just 1 second show this one here. This one here really impressed me specifically because I was like, I struggled to do that with some of my boards. And that's a full bike. So having a bike that could lift in that way is very, very impressive. So obviously, this is kind of the first shots we're looking at the bike for the first time. How does the battery system work with this? Is it swappable batteries? Is it single batteries? Is it part of the frame? Is it a plug-in job? How does that work with charging and the incorporation of power on the bike?
I mean, to get a bit to the question, we wanted to keep this bike as pro as possible. So to keep it as dirt bikey as possible, while we didn't fully, say, hey, you're gonna use this bike only in the pump track. This is obviously also just a cool cruiser. That's what it's meant for at the end. But yeah, there's a battery in the frame. Oh, actually, I just realized I removed the battery here, as I want to do something. And yeah, anyway, that's why you see the cables here. This is a prototype. A lot of things are going to be changed. We actually have 3 different prototypes here. The first prototype arrived in January. But let's stay with the topic, and let's talk about that later. What's actually going to be changed in this bike? But yeah, there's a 10 amp hour battery in the frame itself. And when we had the first prototype, we were like, okay, it would be cool if some people maybe not be able to charge it in their garage or wherever they live. So we wanted to be able to charge the battery that's within the frame with the outside battery. So basically, you can ride only with the outside battery, which is a bottle. I can go get one for you guys. Yeah, real quick.
Yeah, please. I would love to see that. Yeah, and
the range obviously is super crazy. I tested it. I wasn't even able to get to the max. I did 20 kilometers in 20%. However, it depends on how you use it. If you use just the accelerator, you can do something like range. I mean, it's pretty much like we also work on new stuff for electric skateboards. I want to say that right here as well. We always have, actually right now, I have a full-time 3D engineer here. And we work on some new stuff right now. So, yeah.
That's cool. And I seem to find as well, the crossovers are really inspiring as well, because am I right in saying that with the Black Car 3 Pro, the ESC has been developed based on the Velar, if that's correct. The Velar needed a better ESC to handle the power of a dedicated mounted board. And am I right in thinking that technology was trickled into the Black Car 3 Pro to improve the performance on that? Is that right?
Yeah, you could say so. I mean, the first Velar actually came out with a 75 ESC. We would even keep it lower. Actually, there's a fun story about ESCs overall. Suddenly, all companies start to name their ESCs like I'm not gonna name companies, but some would say. So basically, how it works is you have we call it ourselves. We call it the 90A ESC, right? But this is not the max. The max for the ESC is 110A. So some companies would say now, oh, this has 2 motors, 2 cables coming out of the ESC, so it's twice the power. So it has, in this case, 220A power, and we still name it at 90A because I'm like, well, it doesn't mean it's doubled up, right? If you use 2 motors, and that's something we think about a lot at this moment. Because kind of we need to adjust it because all the other brands do it, because we get emails nowadays saying, hey, why this and this board have more power than yours, or like so much more power than yours, but people in the reviews that say it has more power or whatever it is, right? But the first Velar came with a 75 ESC. We upgraded it to a 90A. But I also have to say right there, with a 14S battery, you always have a lot more power compared to a 12S. Eastgate Unity Fred from Eastgate Unity just got a BC3 Pro, and new coming soon. Excited for that.
That's cool. But what I'm saying, I think the reason why I wanted to highlight that is because, like you say, we're not stopping boards, and we've got the mountain boards, we've got the Challenger, we've got the Black Diamond 3. What, obviously, extending into bikes now, what kind of new technologies have you come across that could potentially benefit other demographics that you have? So you've got your bike and you've learned new skills, new elements like that, and that information could be passed on to your boards potentially, and they're making things a different way. What kind of new challenges have you come across with developing this new bike?
Well, I must say that the electric bike, community or factories are a lot more progressed. It's a lot bigger than electric skateboards itself. So everything's already there. For example, we didn't have to create our own UI. That was already made by Big Stone. There's pretty much no reason to make your own UI. It's totally different, but there's so many features in this bike. So we definitely wanna include a lot of them to our own UI for the electric skateboard. But also, to be honest with you guys, how I see it is that electric bikes in the future, they will fund our electric skateboard project. I can tell you that making an electric skateboard UI, ESC, and so on is a lot more expensive than this bike. Here, for example, you cannot invent a bike completely new. Well, you can. Can't really say more right now, but here we have to change the frame. It's our own frame. No one's gonna sell it like that. We have to create our own mold. Just also because no one has done this ever. Oh yeah, let me talk about the changes real quick, because it really
please.
That I see the cables right there. Right now the battery is missing here. All the cables inside is black. A lot of details. I have to be sure to think about everything. But yeah, it's gonna look a lot nicer. There will be, right now there's no light. Oh, one important detail actually. We already adjusted the pictures on the website, photoshopped them, basically picture of this bike, photoshopped it the way it's gonna look like. But yeah, there's a couple of stuff that we're gonna change.
I seem to find as well your bike, it is very much what I would expect an Onsra bike to be. It's almost got like a Batman-esque vibe about it, kind of like the matte black. Is it a matte? It's a matte black, is it? It's not a glossy black, is it? And it's like kind of like neutral design. But so you said the factors when you designed the bike is to keep it lightweight and accessible as well. I think the pricing as well, compared to other e-bikes we've seen recently, is pretty good. And is that what is set at now for the price? I think it's got the Euro one here.
Different. It's so different because we use two different factories. So we have one factory in China, one factory in Europe, and the European price is so much higher than it is in US dollars. It's very difficult to have a price structure there somehow. But there's no way around it. We have different factories, cost a lot more in Europe, and we can't really do anything about it.
So with as part of your testing, obviously you had a professional rider come out and do some shots with you guys. What did you discover from obviously working as a content creator yourself, and obviously you've been on the other side of working with companies before as a rider as well? What kind of things have you discovered from filming with what's this gentleman here? I can't remember his name.
That's our engineer, actually.
Oh, is that your engineer?
Yeah,
okay.
He designed. That's Joao. He designed all our boards. All.
Oh yeah, I remember. I remember him in Germany. Yeah, really nice guy.
Yeah, definitely.
So what kind of things have you discovered, like from early days when you first had your first? When was the first prototype as such? Is that the first one behind you that you got your hands on, or has there been other stages before then?
The bike prototype?
Yes, your bike. Yeah.
The first prototype arrived actually in January, and we almost released it, but it wasn't ready. Yeah, that's actually the first color.
Oh no.
The logo is white. It's a lot more silverish. There was a lot of details to figure out. Obviously, this whole thing is going to be down here. It just looks horrible. Also, when you move your legs and touch the battery. I mean, that's the additional battery. That's going to give you another 7 amp hours. But it's cool because you basically have, limitless range like that. That was the idea. So yeah, we have 3 prototypes here. It took a long time. We almost released it in January because we thought, that's another bike here. We saw Evolve releasing their bike, and I started to get a bit worried. I was like, yeah, what are people going to think? We just copied Evolve at the end. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to wait. I swear in this video. Okay,
yeah, do whatever you want. Yeah, it's your show, mate. I'm just the
No, I was like, fuck it, we're gonna make this as perfect as possible. I also started off actually production long time. We started it off 3 months ago. We filmed the Vandal video in June, by the end of June, and I just had to wait to see, because this is the first time this factory has ever done this exact bike. So I had to wait and see, if they can do it the way we want it. With the tables and everything inside, it was something they have never done before, basically. So we just didn't want people to wait for too long, basically. And now by the end of September, all the parts will arrive. By mid-October, production is going to be done. But in Europe, basically all the parts get produced in China. We assemble the bikes only in Europe. There's pretty much no other way around it unless we have much bigger numbers, But if you would produce everything in Europe, it would be even more expensive unless you have a huge number. But yeah, so how it works right now is everything gets produced in China, gets shipped to our assembling line in Europe. And well, I calculated that it's going to take 6 months, everything from shipping and production, but normally the shipping takes 2 months, and I have no idea how long the production takes. I believe less than 2 months. Put it at 6 months. As you can see on the website, it's saying pure March 25 or maybe earlier. I'm pretty sure they are going to be finished a lot earlier. I just don't want to promise anything I can't hold. That's why.
Exactly. It gives you, all you could do is get the bikes out soon to people, then underestimating then versus overestimating. I think that's a better way to be, for sure. So with some of the bikes coming out, if say, obviously difficult, obviously being in Switzerland and whatnot, if someone wanted to see one in person, is there any events coming up, or is there any other goals later on in the year that you want to see these bikes at to potentially demonstrate?
I'm going to show you guys the office real quick. But yeah, we are gonna our repair area. We're definitely having an event here soon. We just had no time yet because the release, and I had to build this store. Used to be a carpenter, so we did a lot here, or I did a lot myself, with some help, of course. Well, yeah, we're definitely gonna have some events here in Switzerland very soon.
Yeah, that's cool. How's the shipping compared to something like a board? Is it being harder or easier with have you looked into the next stage of shipping bikes out to customers versus shipping a board out? Is there different kind of variables that's been applied to that?
We haven't started to ship yet, but
of course,
before the release, I looked into it. It's a lot more expensive, that's for sure, because everything's bigger, a lot heavier. But overall, there's not a big difference. think there's a lot more regulations on e-bike than there is for electric skateboards. For example, you can't just ship an e-bike directly to a customer from China. That's one of the big differences with e-bikes. I mean, there's import costs and so on. You want to inspect everything. It's not like a skateboard where they have probably no clue what it is when they.
So I was looking, obviously, talking about different regulations, what are compared to a board, obviously, because it's was much more established, isn't it? But when you're looking at the throttle, Europe not installed, do you still have the throttle shipped to? Is the goal to have, obviously, European yours with e-bikes are different compared to USA, but is there going to be the throttle shipped with your bike, or is there a way to get around that? Obviously, if it's a private use, obviously for shipping, riding laws in different countries, is there going to be?
We're gonna have the throttles available. There's a lot of people that want the throttle, like myself. I love it, and I believe at least here in Switzerland, I was riding, around with the bike everywhere. Even the police was next to me. As long as you're not like accelerating with the throttle. But we want this. I mean, the biggest idea here with this bike was why we did the bike in the first place was to sell something that's completely 100% street legal. We have a lot of people here in store, kids with their parents, and they want to buy something legal, and they end up not buying an electric skateboard, and they go buy a whatever it is somewhere else, and we just want an alternative for them. I mean, that's one big reason why we went in the first place for electric bikes instead of, let's say, there's like unicycles, one wheels, or scooters. Obviously, because I'm skating for a long time, it was never an option for me to do a scooter or to see me on a scooter or to even touch scooters. Yeah, I get that. I mean, I have to say it's just there's no option. No, it's a big no. But yeah, I mean, I don't care. The e-scooters, it's a big business. Yeah, I mean, we want to do something that's cool, that works with Onsra. It has to work with me and Onsra, not just Onsra. It's just important to me because I will end up riding it. If I don't feel comfortable on a scooter, I don't want to do it.
Yeah, exactly. It's what you have to feel comfortable with your bike as well. Would this technically be the first fully legal roadworthy vehicle that you've ever made?
Yeah,
it's registered as such.
I have to say it's fun. You can ride in the city. No one cares about it. You can ride around. When we filmed the video, we got so much more footage because we could film everything in the same city. But I do have to say, when I ride up a mountain, I would always choose my skateboard. It's just so much more fun, so much more faster, so much faster, and yeah. It's
so with the bike, obviously being mountain bike design or style, is the kind of like, I suppose, the dream to see bikes in pump tracks, woodland forest, and kind of off-road trails? Is that kind of where this bike would necessarily come alive, if you will?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we have been in several pump tracks. In the video you can see it, in the trailer you can see it. Danny really loves it. He's a professional actor. You can see his name. The full interview is coming as well with him, and he absolutely loves it. He's saying, "Hey, I can accelerate while riding. I can have my daughter on the bike." This is nice, Danny. He absolutely loves it, and but he's also saying, "Hey, this is the perfect cruiser because it looks cool. It's like cruiser style, with the low seats. Yeah, that was the idea.
So with the
this might not work for some older people or people that only cruise in the city, we're absolutely aware of this. This bike is not for everyone, and this is what is maybe we didn't want everyone to ride our bike, if that makes sense.
Well, if you'd rather be specialised in one area than a little bit good in many areas, I suppose, is probably the foresight. With your, obviously, the e-bike culture, like I said, I don't have much experience with e-bikes, but with, obviously, your bike, does it fit into, like, the bike ecosystem, if you will? So, for example, if you wanted to adjust suspension, you wanted to adjust tyres and stuff like that, will your bike be locked down to a part where people can't make these micro adjustments to make their bike their own?
You can definitely do adjustments. I mean, when it comes to pretty much anything at the end, even the tires. I mean, that's the whole idea. Well, parts are standard, but there is some limitations, of course. I mean, you couldn't go much bigger with the wheels. Not at all. There's limitations for sure. Well, yeah, you can.
Will there be accessories as part of the bike as well? So like things you can attach to it? Like for me, my first thought, and I don't know if you've had this idea as well, is how do I attach obviously you can put a backpack on, but how do I attach my electric skateboard to the side of it? Would there be like a rail? Could there be a rail that you could attach to the side of your bike? So you could take your bike to where you want to skate, you skate, and then you bring it back. Like would that be
probably
the accessories?
It probably wouldn't work for every board, but it could work with the Challenger because it's not as long. But yeah, overall, we're coming out with a lot of accessories. In fact, we have ordered them already. We just didn't get them online yet. We're waiting for parts. We're testing a lot of different stuff. But I can promise all replacement parts, especially normal stuff like tubes, tires, even motors, like every single, since we have knowledge from skateboarding, skateboards, how many replacements you need, and yeah, we will have everything available. Everything goes online by the time these bikes arrive or earlier.
So I suppose the perishables, I noticed this as well. See, with your kind of warranty, those are some big numbers sticking there. To be honest.
Yeah,
like you've got obviously you've got a year for battery associated electronics, but 4 years for engineered parts. What does that apply to? Stuff like the frame or the handlebars, stuff like that. Is that kind of what?
Yeah, everything that we engineered. Like for example, we actually also changed the warranty in quiet for all electric skateboards, and this actually applies to every single customer, no matter what, if you bought it 3 years ago or 4 years ago. So basically, we changed the warranty to 4 years on electric skateboards, but also only for Onsra engineered trucks. Basically, all CNC trucks now come with a 4-year warranty. Like from here on out, doesn't matter if you bought it 2 years ago. We want to keep it simple.
Or just keep it over the same idea of Onsra as a brand has that attached to it.
I didn't change it in Speclist. But yeah, I mean, if you go to the very bottom of the website, you can see it. Everything's updated. But Speclist sometimes takes us a while because it's a lot of products, a lot of websites.
Yeah.
Takes a bit of time.
Yeah, for sure. And that's the thing. Like you've got a lot of brands going on there as well.
It's normal in the electric bike scene that you have a 4-year warranty. Yeah.
Cool, man. So obviously bike's been going that as it has been, obviously looking in a new direction with the bikes going forward. Any further? How has the recent events you gone to? Obviously, you went to one of the European events and competed there, and you before we started, you said you did really well. You want to provide a bit more information about one of the recent local events that you took part in?
Oh yeah. I was in Montrevel, it's called in France. The race was really cool, but it was a short time decision. We decided it a day before actually. So Christian, our employee, he asked me, "Hey, do you want to come to Montreal? I'm driving today." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm down, coming." Sometimes it's really hard for me to organize it, couple months before, so it was easier for me to decide on the spot, hey, I'm going this weekend or not. Because there's always, I mean, especially, 2 months ago, I knew, hey, we're coming out with a bike eventually. I just didn't know when. I was just waiting for information from the factory, and I didn't want to promise to go to any event, because it could have happened any time, basically. Yeah, this was the racetrack, super fast.
It's
actually.
a really good track. Yeah,
I was the
rapid as that.
I was one of the only ones without any bindings and two-wheel drive. So I was in my own category, which I ended up winning. But hey, the open category, they are on a different level. I mean, Washek, who got third at ESK-Con. He rides with our ESC and remote controller, four-wheel drive, actually, direct drive, killing it. I don't remember what he got. There's also Tilo from the UK.
Yeah, he's smashing it.
Yeah, actually, no one knows about that, but he just got our new 16S ESCs. However, at this exact race, he didn't have ESCs yet. He just got them. He just received them. He will be even faster next race.
You also said obviously you won your category. You didn't actually say what board you were riding for the event. Which board was you riding?
Me? I was riding.
Yeah, for your category. Yeah.
I was riding the Velar belt drive. I think on the podest I saw there was third place. It was what's the Australian brand? I forgot the name. Not Evolve, not Rave. Another one.
Oh, Transite.
No, not Transite. Not Transite. Another one. Suspension and things. You barely see any.
Oh, Baja.
Oh, Baja. Yeah. You barely see.
I
haven't heard anything for a while now.
Yeah, it's been different developments for a while with that. So obviously, getting close to the end of the year, working on obviously the bike main focus right now. How have you found your new shop? Because obviously you've moved. You haven't moved, have you? You've got an additional shop now, haven't you?
No, we moved completely.
You've completely moved now. Oh,
yeah, our own shop. It's like 20 minutes from here, so it's not worth it to have two shops.
Oh, okay.
This is our new main store now, flagship store.
How was the move in with that then? Because obviously you've been there for quite a while, and for people who don't know behind the scenes, to get into the shop without walking all the way around, you used to have to jump through the window, which I didn't realise I had to do. How was the feeling of moving in that new shop then?
Well, I miss it a bit, not gonna lie. Well, it was just different because at the old store, and that's why I chose it. You can just take an electric skateboard and ride anywhere. And now here at the store, it's a bit different. There's a little area behind the building that we can use to ride, but overall the old shop was a lot better for electric skateboards. I could just leave the shop and go ride. I can't do that anymore. I literally have to take my board to go somewhere else now. That's the big difference for me personally. But with the bikes now, I can go to the city legally, which is also awesome. So yeah.
I'm still here. I think my camera's died. 1 second. Let me plug this thing in. Yeah, I've got a main camera. Sorry. Let me just plug this in. I'll hide it in. 1 second. Gonna win. Is that gonna work? Oh dear. I think I'm having camera troubles. I charged it as well.
What happened?
I don't know. I don't know. Oh, why? Oh gosh. 1 second, let me just try it.
All right, you're back.
I'm back. Right, I'm just not going to touch it. So I'm going to, just because I feel I'm worried about my camera died. If you've got any questions, now's the time to ask, because I don't know how much camera time we got left. It's not going very well on that. But no, I'll just say it's really interesting to see the new bike, a new direction in it. I feel like as a customer for Onsra. It gives you a variety of different options. You've got your short board, city cruiser, your off-road board, and obviously now your bikes going forward. So it's really good to see the diversity of different products out there. So it'd be interesting to see them more coming out as you go forward. So I did ask the question, with obviously the prototypes, is there any upcoming events or anything like that that you aim to hopefully bring the bike to potentially demo or get an opportunity for someone to ride them?
Hopefully to eSkateCon.
Oh, really?
Very hard to plan so far away.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully they are sold out. Every single bike. Hopefully not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just takes a lot of time for production, but I do hope to see or to bring bikes to eSkateCon. But I'm also going to focus on the event next year. I want to race again, and yeah, we'll see how I do that. I need someone.
Cool. One thing I've noticed with yourself from talking with you, you've always said about whatever project you're working on, you need to ensure you get that done first. Because even when I was speaking to you about the Velar, you was like, I want to make sure the launch is done, then we'll come over and do some filming. So you've always had your focus on making sure products get launched successfully. So it's really cool to see. So
we're
I'm going to give it to you
on a lot of stuff right now. So the next thing I cannot talk about that because we are going to improve the NX remote controller. That's one big thing I'm really looking forward to. Yeah, looking forward to a lot of new things.
That's cool. So what I'm going to do, Fabian, I'm going to throw in a couple last couple questions for you, just because I'm going to cut this one a little bit shorter today, just because I'm worried about the camera. I don't want to cut out while we're going. But is there any other things that you want to discuss, announce, talk about, or any other things you want to talk about before we end the stream?
No, I think that's pretty much it. I think we talked about everything. I think the biggest question after the release that I got personally a lot, hey, why did you do a bike? I answered that because it's street legal. We wanted to do something 100% street legal. Well, yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, no, it's cool. And it's really good to see. Oh, there it's gone again. So I knew that was going to drop. I don't know why it's doing this.
Outro for you.
And I'm gone. That's it. I'm gone. Come on. Oh, please turn back on. There we go. Don't touch. Right. Cool. Right. So, guys, thank you for people who... Gone. Right. I'm just going to give up. I'm gone. You're going to stay there. Right. Okay. I'm going to do this in the dark. So, yeah, I'm going to stay there. Right. It's going to go again. No, it is. But yeah, guys, I've got 2 comments here. 1 second. Oh, yeah. Good. I won't answer any questions here and then we'll hold it there. So, 2 questions here from Oregon, USA. Are the US dollars or Aussie dollars on the site? I think the US dollars.
US.
US. Yeah, sweet. That's very good then. I think the price of the bike is very, very good compared to what we've seen at the moment. So it's pretty good to see. Right, guys. Thank you everyone who has joined again. Thank you, Fabian, and thank you for being patient with me with tech issues. Won't happen again in the future, I promise. I'm going to make sure this is bomb-proof going forward. So I appreciate your time. So everyone who stayed for the stream, thank you so much for taking part. I appreciate it. And Fabian, wicked for enriching the community again with a new direction. So great to see you. And thank you for being on the stream. Absolute pleasure. Thank you. Thanks.
Bye.
And